Hi everyone, welcome to So Fit, So Fab, a segment of Simply Sophie's Beauty Essentials and Sophie Soaps and such. I am your mixtures maven, Sophia. Well, today I just wanted to share with you my experience with a food product that I tried. I had added it to my vegan diet and I have had the worst reaction. So you guys stay tuned and I'll share with you some of the things that have begun to happen to me as I began to eat pine nuts. You stay tuned. Okay everybody, I am back. Now, most of you guys know that I have been on this, not just started, but I have been on this journey of being a vegan and eating whole foods and clean foods and foods that are plant-based. Well, I'm eating foods that I don't normally eat, and I add to my diet just a little bit at a time. Now the main things I've been eating: lettuce, tomatoes, salad. I'm a salad fiend. I love salad. So being a vegan is really not that bad, or even being a vegetarian, it's just not that bad. But well, it's not bad at all, and it's not hard for me. But I'm adding other things that I don't normally eat to my diet. Well, I have said, I don't know, a million times when I had my boutique. I had a natural skincare bath and body boutique in the Historic Arts District here in North Carolina, in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I had a boutique where I made natural bath and body products, I think skincare, cosmetics, hair care, all that kind of stuff. And the thing that I would hear people say the most is, oh, go ahead and use it, it's natural, it won't bother you. Well, that's not true. Just because something is natural does not mean that you won't have a reaction to it. It does not mean that it won't harm you, or you won't be you won't have allergies or all that kind of stuff. Well, one of the things I used to say all the time is onion is natural, but I wouldn't want to rub my face with it. Or, you know, poison ivory is natural, but I wouldn't want to take a bath in it, you know, use it as a washcloth. You know, these things are natural, but they do have elements in it, or nutrients in it, or what, you know, just various chemical compound or chemical breakdown can be poisonous or hazardous if you are allergic to them. Well, as it turns out, I have never ever been allergic to anything. I don't have problems with anything, I think, with the exception of tetracycline, which back in the day used to use that for antibiotics. But I don't have an issue with any kind of food. I've never been allergic to food. Well, since I have been a vegan, and in the last 2 weeks I have started eating pine nuts, and I noticed about a week ago that I had this horrible taste in my mouth. It was absolutely horrible. It was absolutely horrible. It was just terrible. So let me just show you my pine nuts. This is what I have left. These, you can see that says pine nuts. I don't know, it's kind of a glare there. But these are the pine nuts, and this is what they look like. And I believe these come from a pine tree, from maybe a pine cone, I think. Now, the pine nuts, I think you can see that there. In and of itself, they taste pretty good. I really like them, and I just would throw them on my salad or whatever. And I noticed within this last week that I had this bitter, metallic taste in my mouth, and everything that I ate, I had that bitterness to it, and I could not put my finger on it. Well, 2 days ago I noticed this terrible rash that had begun to just be all over my arms. It itched. I had whelps on my chest, and I had whelps and little bumps on my face, and I still have some of those, but I have a little bit on my arms, and I could not figure out what it was. And the only thing that I had added new to my diet was the pine nuts. Now, I eat plenty of nuts and seeds, pistachios, almond, cashews, flaxseed, chia seed. I eat all of those all of the time, so I never had a problem with it. And so now, since I have implemented the pine nuts into my diet, I noticed this reaction that I had. So I went on the internet to find out what could be the issue, and this is what I found. I did not write down the names of the websites, but they're easy enough to Google. So just look for allergic reaction to pine nuts, and allergic reactions to tree nuts. And so that is my issue. A pine nut is a tree nut. And I wondered, first of all, what the difference between peanuts and other nuts, pistachios, and that's the difference. Tree nuts, pistachios, almonds, cashews, those nuts are grown in a tree. Peanuts are grown from the ground. So I learned something new in looking for the reaction for pine nuts. Now the actual reaction, the issue is called pine mouth, and it is categorized, the symptoms of pine mouth is itchy throat, which I have, and I cough, which is another symptom. A runny nose, I've had that quite often. I had red, blotchy, itchy skin, or a red, blotchy, itchy rash, and that's what I had. Although red doesn't show up on me that much, but it still was itchy and blotchy nonetheless. And then the last thing, the bitter metallic taste, and they call that I think, taste disturbance. And so I had that issue, and I could not figure out what it was. And so I looked for remedies for it. It did say that it only lasts maybe about a week or a couple of days, depending on how much you eat. Well, I ate a lot of it, and one of the challenges with tree nut allergies is that it could be, if I had a really serious reaction, it could be life-threatening. And I think people who are allergic to peanuts and people who are allergic to tree nuts, those who have severe reactions to it, I think they call it anaphylactic reaction, where your throat closes up and you can't breathe, blah blah blah. I have a friend who has anaphylactic reaction to seafood. So I did not know that I was allergic to this. And I think in one of the websites, I wish that I had remembered it so I can tell you, but if I find it, I'll post it in the description box below, where you can go and read it for yourself. But one of the challenges with pine nuts, and I didn't really get the clear understanding of it, but the challenge was whether it came from China, or whether they were old pine nuts, or they're made to have some sort of chemical on it or whatever. But it's not, pine mouth is semi-rare. Not everyone winds up being allergic to it. I understand it to be a reaction where your body does not recognize the proteins in the pine nuts, and so it identifies it as a potential hazard to the body or a danger to the body. So your body releases histamines, which is what you see is the defense mechanism that your body puts up to combat those alien dangerous chemicals or dangerous foods or proteins that are in your body. So you produce rash, itchy throat, watery eyes, all that kind of stuff is the reaction to that foreign substance. And so I look for natural homeopathic or natural remedies, and so one of the websites said that you could drink carrot juice or beet juice. Now and you can do a chamomile tea wash. So this morning I decided, when I made my smoothies, I would do a mostly beet smoothie, and it consisted of beets, carrots, kale, and lemon, tomato, and a little water. Was I think I put a kale and something, I think a cucumber was in there, but it was mostly beets. I put a lot of beets in it. And so I noticed today that the whelp that I had on my arm was gone. So far so good. So I have chamomile tea, and I'm going to make a wash with that. I guess I'll infuse the chamomile tea and use that as a spray is really what I'll do. I'll spray it on like a toner or some sort of itch relief spray, and see if that will help, because I don't know how to make it in a wash without adding soap to it, or some sort of liquid soap. And I may be able to do that. Boy, it's getting hot. Anyway, I may be able to do that. So I just wanted to share that with you. If you guys are trying your hand at eating new things since you have been on this diet, and I'm talking to a lot of my friends who are now, a lot of my friends who are now, I'm having a hot flash, who are now part of my fitness and healthy lifestyle Facebook community. For you guys who are new at this, I'm new as well, and I'm learning. So I just want you to be aware that if you add pine nuts to your diet, be mindful of those side effects, because once you begin to experience them, you'll know that something is wrong. But just keep in mind, you may and may not want to try them. I would say that being that the pine nuts they taste pretty good, you may want to try it and see if you like it. And if you do and you have no reaction, wonderful, keep eating those because they're really, really good for you. But if not, nix it. Like I said, this is a lot, and the cost really, I got it from they're raw, so I got them from the whole food store, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with these. I don't know, because I don't want to have a severe reaction. And I noticed the more I ate, the worse my reaction became. So at any rate, that's, ooh, I can't wait to get someone to sit down. Anyway, I just want you guys to know that, to be mindful of the things that you eat and add to your diet one thing at a time, so that you know if you have a reaction to it, that you'll know, you can kind of pinpoint what it is. So anyway, that's it for now. You guys be blessed. Smooches. Bye-bye.